Okay, so the problem that we're going to be working on today is 2/3 equals x over 9. So let's talk about what kind of fractions these are. These will be considered proper fractions, and the x is what we call a variable. Variables take places of numbers, and it's our job to find out the number that belongs in that space. And there's a lot of strategies that we're going to use to do it. But as a math whiz, what I need you to do is to make sure that you choose the strategy that is best for you. So let's look at what this question is asking us to do. So we have 2/3 equal x over 9. So that equal sign means both sides need to be balanced. It's kind of like a weight. So it doesn't mean that this and this are the same. They have the same value, but they're not the same number. And in fraction world, we would call that an equivalent fraction. So now we need to figure out what fraction or fractions are equal to 2/3 that have a denominator of 9. So there's the first strategy that a lot of people would like to use, which is cross multiplication. So whenever you cross multiply, you determine what times another number would equal that denominator. So let's look at this. 3 times what equals 9? Okay, so in this case, if we know our practice our multiplication facts, we would know that 3 times 3 equals 9. So what I like to tell my students, what I do at the top, I do at the bottom, or what I do at the bottom, I have to do at the top. This means that you can't have anything unbalanced, whether it's side to side or top to bottom. So now, since we know that 3 times 3 equals 9, we can do 2 times 3 to find out what x is. And in this case, 2 times 3 is what? 6. Okay, that's just one of our strategies. So one strategy is cross multiplication. When you were in a lower grade, you did something called find the missing number. And this is the same thing that you learned before with addition, subtraction. So we're going to rewrite our problem again. So 2/3 equals x over 9. So now our job is to find the missing number. Okay, solve for the unknown is what we call it. So we don't know what x is. Okay, now what we can do is we can isolate all of our numbers on one side and leave our variable over there so we can figure it out. This also helps us to find a balanced equation. This actually helps us to understand that we're looking for a specific number, in this case our numerator, and there's some jobs that each number has. Okay, so a fraction symbol also stands for division. And in this case, we know if 9 is in the denominator, that is the number that is divided on this side. So what we're going to do is, in order to balance it out, we need to multiply this side by 9, and they cancel out because it equals 1, right? Now, in order to make sure something is balanced, what I do on one side, I have to do on the other side. We're trying to ensure that the value is still the same, no matter what. So, 9 times 2 equals 18 over 3. Remember, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that whenever I am multiplying a fraction, if this fraction would be 9 over 1, technically. So I'm still cross multiplying. 9 times 2 equals 18 1 times 3 equals 3. Now we have an improper fraction here, and now we need to figure out how to solve it. So remember, we said that that fraction bar stands for divide. So 18 divided by 3 is what? That's right, 6. So we can see now, if we rewrite our problem, 2/3 equals 6/9, and we can determine if it's balanced using numbers. So we also know that if we drew a picture, and we can determine the equivalent fractions that way as well. I hope that you had a great opportunity to review some vocabulary with us. So let's talk about the two strategies that we used: cross multiplication and solving for the unknown. If you notice, I made sure I separated my work. We also talk about proper fractions, improper fractions, numerators, denominators, variables, and how with that equal sign we're balancing the equation to ensure that each value is the same.